You know what all the cool kids are doing these days? Listening to podcasts. And what does Toxic Radio have? Podcasts, duh.
Just as I thought.
Go to toxicradio.net and check out our weekly schedule for the lineup of great shows. Miss any of them live? No worries.
Thank God, dude.
We're on all the top podcast platforms, or just find them at toxicradio.net or on the free app. The choice is yours. Be cool or not.
We're gonna be cool.
Toxic Radio. Get the podcasts and get infected. Hey guys, dating life going pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy, I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies. Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. All sports talk shows are the same, right?
I am bothered by everything.
You gotta go back to football school.
You call on this guy, it's just immeasurable.
Wrong. In a world filled with talking heads more interested in their own celebrity than actually knowing the sports world, it's hard to find the people who really care about sports first. Look no further. Wire to Wire has it all covered. These guys have the knowledge and the cred to back up their opinions. No hot takes to get attention, just straight up opinions. Know anyone else who correctly called the 2020 World Series and March Madness? How about 70% on the NFL and NCAA football last year? You don't. Bottom line, these guys know their shit. They aren't doing it for attention, they're doing it for passion. Wire to Wire, live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, only on Toxic Radio and wherever you find podcasts.
Welcome, Wire to Wire Sports Podcast, show 77. I'm your host, the NFL genius, Gene Walzak, and to my right, I have the man, the myth, the legend, the uncle, Shally.
What's up?
What's happening?
What's going on?
Cottrell's at some work function, so
MIA, bro.
It'll just be us two tonight, but I'm looking forward to some spirited debates. We might fight each other by the end of the night.
Studio
might
could
happen.
be destroyed. It could happen.
It could happen. Like these things could happen. Genius. I like it, Dave. Thank you. We got a lot to get into. We're going to talk about the Final Four. We'll give you an update on your bracket. We're also
Mine
going
sucks.
Yeah, mine's terrible too. I don't know who wins between the three of us. I think it's already decided. I didn't look. But they're all bad.
The only thing I've left is Kansas, and I had them losing this round anyway. So
our points would be where they're at. We can
Yeah.
find that out. We also are going to go into our final little quadrant of the sports movie bracket, the Midwest.
Murderers Row.
Every one of them is Murderers Row, dude. Every one of them. I don't think any of them have been easy.
I don't think they're easy. I just think the West is a little top heavy, and the East is good. But I think the Midwest and the South legit have 8 or 9 movies that would win.
That's factual. That definitely could happen. We got our first base and third base list this week. We have those. We have graphics for you guys at home so you can follow along. I think I've seen these already, obviously, because I had to put the graphic together. So, it'll be interesting because I feel like our lists are very. Well, we'll wait. We don't spoil it right now. And we're going to talk about some big NFL news. The rule change, and just moments ago, breaking news. I need a sound. Wire to wire breaking news. Bruce Arians has stepped down.
I ain't got it.
Bruce Arians has stepped down as head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just happened.
Saying he's going to stay with the team. He's going to a front office role. Reports are defensive coordinator Todd Bowles is picked to replace him. So I'm assuming he stays on the defense, and then Byron Leftwich will stay with the offense.
It'll be interesting. It'll be definitely interesting.
I mean, that's a to some degree, it's a no-win situation for them. I mean, you two guys that were both on the short list to get almost every head coaching job this year, and you were both on the same staff. Had to pick one of them.
I don't know if there's something wrong with my headset, but I can't hear you through my headset.
Really?
No, but it's okay. We'll continue going. I'm just saying it out loud in case the powers that may be can correct that. You guys can hear us fine, so let's get rolling. First topic, the Final Four. We got 4 blue blood universities, 4 of them. You have Kansas, Villanova, Duke, and North Carolina. I don't know if you could script this any better for Coach K's final year to get him versus UNC in the Final Four. And I don't know if UNC could stick it to Duke any harder than if UNC knocks them out of the tournament.
My rigged conspiracy is picking up steam quickly. Listen, I mean, yeah, for UNC to get there as an 8 seed, kind of have an up and down roller coaster year, looked very mediocre at times. Going to the tournament, just absolutely looked like a completely different team. Had Baylor down by 25 at one point. They've looked great. Duke has had a couple tough tests already. A little bit more battle tested, I guess you could say, through the tournament. For those two to have never played in the Final Four, which I wouldn't have guessed that at all. So that's a fun fact for it to be Coach K's last year. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I thought the spread would be bigger on that game. It's only 4.
UNC's played great basketball right now.
Yeah, Duke has gone through spells where they've gone up. Teams have made runs, and every time they've had to answer the bell, though, they've answered it so far. So, I mean, they're gaining experience as they go. I think Duke on paper is definitely the more talented team. I am with you. I am curious to see. You know, they put the stat up the other day. The all time record between the two since Coach K's been there is 50-49, the favor of Duke. So if North Carolina can knock them out somehow, they would only have they would literally have broken even his entire career between the two teams. Or does he win and go, leave with a winning record? There's so many interesting little caveats to that game now.
I honestly believe, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this, I honestly believe that Duke is just way more talented than North Carolina. They just are. And when I look at these teams, the big difference in the game is Paolo Banchero. He is, without a doubt, this tournament has solidified my opinion on him. I've said all year he's the best player in the country. I've been very, very consistent with that. We've heard different names. We've seen Jabari Smith. You got I also love the kid Ivy, Jaden Ivey, Purdue. I think he's the second best player in the country. But I will say this: Paolo Banchero, best player in the country. Not Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's gonna be a bust, guys. I'm telling you that right now. I hate saying it. He's got Adam Morrison written all over him. Am I lying?
No, I've never been as high on Chet, as other people have been. I lean towards you on that one. I do agree. If you go Paulo, Ivy, Jabari, I think if you get any one of the 3 of them, I think you're getting a very good basketball player. I think they're all going to be very good at the next level. He's going to be the best player on the court. Duke, I think North Carolina has advantages on both sides of the ball. Again, I don't think anybody would argue Duke is definitely the more talented roster that's gonna be on the floor. I think both of North Carolina's guards can create havoc for Duke because I think they're athletic to stay in front of them. We've seen that all year, with the 2 games they played. I think Paulo will definitely get his. It's no different than anything else. I think it comes down to, who's, ancillary players play better. I mean, that usually decides these games. Banchero's going to score 20 to 25 probably. You got Malik from North Carolina. He's a hybrid type player. They can play him outside. They can play him inside. It's going to be fun, man. I mean, and then you just take in the factor how much the teams hate each other, and then you're going to throw that on a Final Four stage. I mean, that's great.
And I hear that. I just think that when you say ancillary players, I know Banchero is the best player on Duke, but they have 3 lottery picks on that team. Wendell Moore Jr. will be a lottery pick, and Roche will be a lottery pick. There's no doubt in my mind they have 3 guys that'll go in top 20. So it's like not like it's just Paulo. It's just Paulo is the best.
I get what you're saying, but Paulo is the best, but I think Paulo is the only sure thing as well.
Fair points. I'm not. So how do you see the game going? Because I think I might be getting ahead of myself too. But Duke versus Texas Tech. Duke won that game. It was a very close game. Duke pulled away. Duke versus Michigan State. Duke won that game. It was a very close game. Duke pulled away. They have shown me the grit, balls, and determination that they lacked Coach K's last game and the ACC tournament.
Don't disagree with any of that. Like I said, I think the one thing that Duke has gained through the tournament so far is the experience. They've been, from the get-go, I think you could argue it's a detriment that they've played down a little bit to those teams, but at the same time, like I said a couple minutes ago, they've answered the bell every single time. When they've been up and then teams have made runs at them, they've gotten close. Even they've been down a couple times. They've answered the bell every single time, pulled away at the end, won the game. That says a lot. I mean, that's, again, you can love Coach K, you can hate him. He's a good coach. The man knows basketball. I mean, it's just as simple as that. North Carolina, you're coming in, you're almost playing with house money. I mean, you're not supposed to be here. You're not this year, maybe next year with that team, not this year. Hubert Davis, we were talking about the Baylor game, how I thought they melted down at the end. But that being said, I think the three of us, when that game went into overtime, we all expected Baylor to blow them out. And he calmed the kids down. And North Carolina came out and rolled them in overtime, which was I was not expecting that at all. And they've looked great since. They haven't had a hiccup since. So
no. Wild statement. I'm blanking on the kid's name. The kid got thrown out of Baylor game.
It's Malik. Yes.
So Mallett's plus minus in this tournament, it's number 1 by like a long shot, right?
I mean, I believe it after watching the Baylor game because
number 1 by a long shot. I think he's 17, 18 points ahead of number 2, which is absurd in a tournament like this.
He's a hybrid stretch 4/5 kind of kid. He can play outside, he can defend, and he shoots the three very well.
See, the problem with that is Monchero's going to guard him.
I mean, interesting. I mean, I think I think the crazier thing is too. Then you go back to their ACC play. Duke went to North Carolina, smashed them. North Carolina went to Duke, smashed them there.
When North Carolina smashed Duke, though, North Carolina's playing the way they are now. When Duke played at North Carolina, it was a little earlier in the season. North Carolina was nowhere near the team they are now.
I agree. I think you're judging off by what Vegas is looking at, what they're putting the game at. They're expecting a close game. You factor in, again, like I said, the rivalry. It's the best rivalry in college basketball, the hatred, everything. And you're going to throw it on the Final Four stage in New Orleans. I mean, it's going to be fun. It should be a very good game. I mean, if you go with coaching, I mean, you're going to give the edge to Duke, obviously. Talent, again, it's Duke, but North Carolina has the belief. They've already beat them this year.
You know what the one thing that goes on in North Carolina's favor that I think that most people are just looking past? This will be the most pressure-packed game that any kid in Duke will ever play in the history of Duke.
Yes, I agree.
Ever.
I agree. I think
like Christian Laettner, ever in the history of Duke. There'll never be a time where you're playing UNC in Coach K's last game.
Possibly.
In the Final Four.
I agree, 100%.
Like, that's absurd. And
I think you have to give them some credit to knowing they've had that pressure, they've had that cloud over their head since they've gotten in the tournament. Like, if he loses his last game, it's going to be because of you guys.
Do you know the crazy part? There's one other last game that's been played this year for Coach K, and it's his last one in Cameron Indoor. His last game in Cameron Indoor, that pressure was way too much, and Duke got rolled.
They did.
In that game by North Carolina.
I was literally just going to say, I will say this. I think the first 8 minutes of that game are imperative to Duke. I think they're more important to Duke than they are to North Carolina.
Well, yeah. No, I don't think that's not.
Because for that reason, I think if North Carolina comes out somehow and goes up big, that pressure is going to come down on them real quick.
Yep.
Real quick.
And you'll see it. The shots will stop falling.
Yep.
They'll start driving, trying to get fouled, trying to get the line.
I think the longer North Carolina can keep that game close,
the harder Duke squeezes the ball.
Correct. Especially on that stage, Duke would love to be up 10 with 2 minutes to go. and just be like, we'll take the air out of the ball. You guys are going to have to make threes every time down the court. We'll make free throws here and there and win the game. Yeah. That's a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. I mean, very interesting.
So I have Duke. I think Duke's going to win the game. I think Duke goes to the national championship, and I will tell you who I think comes from the other side in a minute. You have to take UNC. You have to.
I do. I'll get disowned. I'll take UNC just for fun anyway. And again, it just continues to add to my this whole tournament's rigged for Coach K theory.
But it isn't, though. Like, what game can you point at that there was anything called, like, real weird for Duke?
This will be, I think, I saw the stat briefly. I caught the tail end of it. They will be this, if you, like, go by how many seed, like, what seeds you beat to get there, this will be the second easiest road ever for a team.
The 3 seed, Texas. And if you want to say that, I'll say Kansas has the easiest road ever. They played a 16 and a 15. I don't think it'll ever. Yeah. A 16 and 8, a 15. Like, how's it get easier than that?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to go beat a 2 now, but I understand what you're saying. It's, I'll go, I think it's going to be a high scoring game too, because I think they're just going to run up and down the court. I'll go 75-73 UNC.
All right, so I have 75 in my score.
Oh, you do?
82-75 the Dukies.
So you think they cover too?
I do.
I'll go 75-73 UNC.
That's absurd. That game would be like, could you imagine, like, bro, where are you at the last minute of that game? You have to be watching that.
Well, here's the other thing.
I'll be helping Softball America.
If you're, God, would bat league. If you're Duke trailing with 10 seconds to go, like, who wants to be the guy that potentially makes the shot or misses the shot?
Paulo Bonchero.
But if you're UNC,
I love that kid.
I know you do. But if you're UNC, you have to stick 2 people on him. You have to make somebody else beat you.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's like, do you want to be the guy that goes down in history of being the guy that missed the last shot? I'd be like, I twisted my ankle. I need a rest.
It's absurd. All right, so we'll get into so I'm going to warn you guys at home. I am doing this intentionally, and I'm doing this intentionally for the love of Jay Wright and the Villanova Wildcats.
Oh, stop. You're not.
But follow me real quick. This is intentional. Villanova has no chance in this basketball game. None. Justin Moore, and I'll say this to everybody at home. I said, credit to me, because when Cottrell was on his, we have 2 better players than Gillespie. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have 2 better players than Moore. And I said Moore is the best player on Villanova all year. I said it. He's their leader. He's their best on-ball defender. He's the guy. Like, Gillespie was scared of bringing the ball up. I love Gillespie. Don't make me trash Gillespie. Love the kid. He could not bring the ball up versus Houston. He couldn't.
It was weird to me because that's the first time I've legit ever seen that kid rattled.
Yep.
I still think Colin is their heart and soul. I think
he's not their best player though.
No, I'm 100% in agreement with you. I mean, on all that, Justin Moore's the best player. He is. He scores. He can drive. He can shoot. And to your point, he's the guy that's going to go up and match up against your best player. Like he would be against Ojabi. Like that. That's who he. Not having him, Ojabi is now the best player in that game come Saturday.
Well, Ojabi's the best player in the game, even if Justin Moore's there.
Agreed, but it's close. It's close.
Correct.
Close, and you can make the argument if Justin Moore is a great game defensively, Ojabi's somewhat limited. We're not going to have that now.
Agree with you.
Neither team is extremely deep. Kansas plays somewhere between 7 and 8. Villanova all year has been between 6 and 7, and now they're kind of really down to 6. I mean,
they're going to have to play Archie. They're going to have to play young Archie.
But listen, hey, if there's a family that has a lineage to do it, I mean, Archie might come out and just drop bombs, dude. It could happen. Listen, this is kind of the opposite of the Duke North Carolina game. I think at some point, does complacency set in for Kansas, and they go, "Hey, they don't have their best player." Maybe,
I don't think so in the Final Four, bro.
Does Nova come out and does Nova? Here's my problem. I don't think Nova beats Duke or North Carolina. So part of me wants Kansas to win because I want a good championship game.
Yes.
I think Villanova is more than capable of gutting this game out, though.
Like win one for Justin
Yes,
Moore?
I do, and I think because I've seen you saw it in the Elite Eight game. Kansas has spells where they cannot shoot the ball, and when they do,
But I will say this: that Elite Eight game, if they play anyway, what they played in
the
that second half versus Miami,
Nova's getting rolled. Agreed.
Like Kansas showed you that their top end speed could be better than anyone in the country.
I said 6 weeks ago when we did our first Final Four, that was my fourth team that I have as a 1 seed. I've watched them a lot. I think they're very good. The key for them so far, Remy Martin's kind of got his head back like out of his ass. He's had an up and down year this year. He's been hurt. He's had kind of had some stuff going on behind the scenes with self. He started bringing him off the bench. He seems to kind of get his head on straight now, and he's playing that way. His minutes have gone up every single game. I wouldn't even be surprised if he starts Saturday. He's a difference maker. He's a great 1A to a jobby. And then you have McCormick inside. They're a very good team. They're a very good basketball team. I think they're the team out of the 4 left. They're still the team that everybody's talking about the least, which is weird to me.
Jalen Samuels has to have has to have the best game
of his life
for Villanova. I'll make my prediction first.
Good.
Kansas 82.
Villanova
60.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say if you go 82, that means you definitely have Villanova losing because Villanova is not scoring 82 points. I'm going closer.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, listen, I'm the one going out on a limb at 22 points on a 4-point spread.
I know what you're trying to do, and I've done it before, so I'm not going to hate you. I'm going to get shit for this in numerous avenues. I'll be with a bunch of Villanova people Saturday watching the game. I'm going to go 72-64 Kansas.
Yeah, I don't. There's not a snowball's chance in hell Villanova wins that game.
And I will say this because we're on the same page as this. I want to be wrong about that game.
Yes.
Like, I will gladly come in here next Wednesday and be like, I'll take the L on that one.
Oh, dude, 100%. It's the biggest lock. It's almost as big as the Dallas Cowboys over the Atlanta Falcons lock I gave away in the middle of the NFL season.
I thought
this is just this bad.
I thought you were going to say the Cowboys like not winning a playoff game. That's fine.
That's fair. If you don't mind, Mike, can you throw up our bracket, and we want to go over who's going to win the bracket. So if you can throw on the screen. No. You had it right. No. You had it right. The NCAA, that's it, right. There you go. This is our standings. Do you know who Duke Fear Bonner is? Bill, do you know who that is?
Duke what?
Duke Fear Boner.
No idea. Can we click on it?
It just says ESPN 1502.
Yeah,
I got to know who that is because they're in the stronghold. If Duke wins it all, they win it all. I need to know who that is. They're, and this gets wild, ready? So if Duke wins, Duke Fear Boner wins.
I need the explanation of the name. Duke Fear's dick? I don't know.
But that he wins.
Okay.
TX2 wins second place. And then Bob Tierney wins third.
Okay.
So if Duke wins.
So Duke wins the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how it happens.
Okay.
If Villanova wins it.
Probably my boss.
Patrick Daly.
Daly. Got it.
Wins it all. Second place, scroll down a little bit for me. I think it's Anthony Biondo. I could be wrong. No, it's Ben Vitale. Vitale, and then Anthony Biondo.
Okay.
Would be third. Here's where it gets wild. If Kansas wins it all, a guy that's got 660 points right now.
Would pass everybody?
Would pass everybody.
Who's that?
Andrew Incroat, guy I work with.
Okay.
Would be first, and second place by 20 points, which would probably grind his gears, would be Anthony Cavallero, another guy I work with. 1140 to 1120 would be the final.
I would say that guy's got a decent chance because, again, I think Kansas is going to get there. I mean,
now here's where it gets fun.
The North Carolina has to be the monkey wrench. Like,
if North Carolina wins and Villanova wins, P. Daly wins.
Okay.
If North Carolina wins and Kansas wins, scroll up to the top. I've done the math like 4 times. If North Carolina wins and Kansas wins, I gotta see how. I think it's 240 points. I think that Andrew Incroat would win, or Duke Fear Boner would win. I'd have to see it. It's a 10-point swing, one way or the other. If North Carolina beats Kansas,
You know who's not winning?
me or you?
Correct.
We're not even on the list. We're nowhere near the list.
I'm just happy I'm on page 1 still.
Are you?
Barely.
Scroll down. I didn't see him.
I might not be.
Scroll down. More. As much. That's it. Coach K was my dad. Is the last one.
Yeah.
He would place, by the way, at 1050. He would place.
Yeah, I mean, because you're getting like 300.
Top 5.
Yeah, you're getting like 300 points in the next 2 games if
Yeah.
they win both.
Okay, so that is the bracket. That is the Final Four. Do you want to predict the national champion right now? I mean, obviously we should. We're not. By the next time we're on air, who wins the national championship?
I'm going Kansas
Okay,
because I just refuse to freaking pick Duke.
I'm going Duke.
I know you are.
I'm going Duke.
I'm going Kansas.
Cottrell will pass both of us. I'm sure of it. If Duke goes to the finals.
Thank God I won the freaking Bowl Mania thing.
It's fair. Okay, so next on the agenda, we have the sports movie bracket. Now, Mike, you can throw that bracket up. This is the Midwest region. This is the last of our 4 quadrants. Next week, depending on the show, we could do the whole left side.
Well, we're going to do
round 2.
We're going to do the whole. I guess we would go back to do the whole left side since we're on the right side.
The
now.
whole left side and then
Yeah.
the whole right side.
Yeah.
We have a play-in game, like we do with every single 16 seed.
I can't see this, so you're going to have to tell me what the movies are so I can do my little breakdown.
I got you.
Okay.
Semi-pro, Jackie Moon versus Wildcats.
The Flint Tropics. That's crazy. Cottrell's freaking movie. Cottrell won it in, and now he's not even here.
Well, it's okay. We know his vote is
yeah.
for Wildcats.
That is true. Yeah, semi-pro basketball. Jackie Moon, Woody Harrelson, Will Ferrell. Funny ass movie.
The best part of that whole movie is when he traded for Monix.
Yes.
He traded the washing machine.
We traded my washing machine.
That was the. What did you trade for me? Like who did the washing machine?
Washing machine. Wildcats is like a typical. I don't want to say it's cheesy, but it's a typical '80s movie. Goldie Hawn gets thrust into coaching this high school football team that like can't even run a play, and she turns them into winners. And it's just a good story.
Yeah. Well, let me go because I know you'll be deciding.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Jackie Moon and Semi-Pro because it is hilarious, and I could watch it at any time.
This is tough.
So I like you have Cottrell's vote for the play-in game.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so don't tell me the playing game. I know it's Wildcats. You don't have to tell me. I know it's Wildcats, but I want him to give me his pick first.
Is it Wildcats?
No. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Why?
You need to pick your pick.
So this is tough for me because I have a weird thing with Will Ferrell. Like there's some of his movies that I absolutely love, and there's other ones that like I don't think are as funny as other ones. This one kind of falls into that category for me.
It's fair.
And I share like a weird common liking of Wildcats with Cottrell. God, he's gonna be mad. Semi-Pro is just a better movie. I'm going Semi-Pro.
And he went Wildcats?
Cottrell did go Wildcats.
Sorry, bud.
It's okay. I knew it. I knew what it was. Now, listen, we're not moving on, obviously. These two movies.
This is we're not.
They're walking in. Rudy, listen, I will say this. Rudy Rudiger was friggin' offsides.
He was offside.
There's no way he didn't jump that snap count to get that sack.
Best case scenario was a neutral zone infraction. Here's what I'll tell you about Rudy. There's parts of it that are dramatized, obviously, like every damn sports movie. I hate Notre Dame. Everybody knows I hate Notre Dame.
Great movie, though.
A great freaking movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, again, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, you wake up and it's on. I put my remote down and I watch it.
The song is just
song,
do 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 do
freaking
do 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 do. I did really good with that. That was very good.
Everybody has an opinion. It's just a good movie. It's just a good movie. everything hits every category you wanted to hit. It's all the right notes. It's a great story. Most of it is true. It's just again,
for the best part of the movie.
It's Rudy.
Best part of the movie. I got it.
There's a couple really.
Nope. This is it.
I wonder if it's. I know what mine is, but go ahead.
Okay, so there's a part where he's standing in a tunnel. He's not at practice, and the janitor who used to play for the team comes out and starts talking to him, and he goes, "I want it to matter. I want it to make it." And the janitor turns around and he goes, "You're 5'0" nothing, 100 nothing, and you hung around with the best football program in the nation. You don't owe anything to anyone but yourself." Best part of the whole movie.
That is one of my three. I think the very beginning, when they're doing the final drill, when they're running down, hitting the bag, coach saying I'll miss you the most. I think that's always a good moment. Any kind of high school athlete that hears that, I think is great. And that is the most underrated character in that movie to me is the grounds crew guy.
Yeah, grounds crew guy.
He's horribly important to that movie.
Facts. I mean, you could argue he's the second star in the movie.
Wouldn't argue that either.
Yeah, why would you?
The other part for me,
then his dad wants to see him play.
The other part for me, getting them actually there and watching him play is, that's a tearjerker. The other amazing part to that movie for me, and I'm torn on it now because I found out, is when they
sideline.
But when that didn't happen either.
I know.
But when they bring all the jerseys in and say, "I want Rudy to play for me," that was a really cool moment. But then I found out that didn't happen either. So,
well, we're all voting for Rudy, and if Cottrell didn't vote for Rudy, screw him. I'm kidding. He voted for Rudy?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I need it for clarification that he at least voted for him in the first round. So we're going to go 3-0 sweep. Rudy wins. On to the next round.
Rudy's going to be a tough out.
This is going to be, I'm going to say something controversial. Here it comes.
What is this?
This is the two most overseeded movies by far in this entire bracket. They're very overrated, both of them. Mighty Ducks versus We Are Marshall. I love Mighty Ducks, man. I was a Mighty Ducks fan. Knuckle Puck and all that shit. But
that's two, bro. Well, it's to the first one too.
I don't care.
Okay.
My point being is, Banks, Bombay, the Minnesota Miracle Man,
Hawks, bro.
I get it, and We Are Marshall. All right. That jerk off. Listen. I am not a huge fan of either one of these seeds on these movies. I think there's a lot better movies that are lower seeded. But for this, I'm voting the Minnesota Miracle Man. I'm voting Mighty Ducks.
Big McConaughey fan. We Are Marshall is a very sad story because it is a true story about how Marshall football team crashed on a plane ride home and literally 70% of the team died. Marshall is another college that's in a small town. Just one of those things, just rock the town, man. And on the other hand, to Gene's point, you have the drunk lawyer, Gordon Bombay. It's District 5 hockey team. Gets them to play without the newspapers on their shins. I love the Mighty Ducks movie. So, this is easy for me. I don't like voting against Matthew McConaughey, but I think Mighty Ducks is a great sports movie, has a great message. And I think it's well done. So the first one I think too was very original. I don't like 2 anywhere near as much as 1, and I hate 3. I wish they never made 3.
I like all 3.
I think the third one's terrible.
I like all 3. Cottrell swept it.
I like 2 because of. Are you serious?
What?
Which one did he pick?
Mighty Ducks.
So
see,
sweet.
I could see Cottrell picking We Are Marshall though.
I couldn't. They say 5-12 sometimes. There's upsets. There will be no upset this week. If there's an upset in this 5-12, I will be furious. I'm going for right now. A league of their own, the 5 seed, playing against Rookie of the Year, the 12 seed. Nothing against Rudiger. Nothing against Rosengardner.
Rowenhausen.
Gardenhoser. Nothing against him. Cool, funny.
It's
a league of their own is a million times. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball.
I will say this, and I've said it before publicly, and I get a lot of crap for it.
Oh, don't do it.
Other than maybe one or two movies, I think that is top 3 Tom Hanks performances ever.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know where you were going with that.
I also
didn't know if I was going to get a sexist comment.
No, God, no, dude.
Kidding,
I'm the
kidding.
biggest proponent of that movie you will ever meet in a guy. Like for instance, for me, that is a top 5 baseball movie of all time, and a lot of people have it around like 8 or 9. I think that's a joke. It's top 5 for me.
A little foreshadowing.
Yeah. Listen, that is a tough out for me. And again, it's the 5 seed in this region. Yeah, it's a league of their own. Who's it going against?
Rookie of the
I don't
year.
remember. It's a cute story. I mean, it could never happen.
Cute.
It's cute. It's a good kids movie. I've seen it probably way too many times than I should have.
You know he can't defend the mound either. I wish they would have bunted a lot more versus him.
Yeah, it's true. He would have struggled. But yeah, I mean that's the most lopsided 5-12
Ever. League of their own. I'm guessing Cottrell helped us with the sweep on that one too.
Yes, he did.
There we go.
There we
We're
go.
3-0s. We're 3-3-0s. The favorites are winning. We got Hoosiers, a 4 seed, which I don't, for whatever reason, I thought this was higher seeded. But Hoosiers, the 4 seed versus the Express. This is not the Midnight Express. This is the Express.
Express. Ernie Davis.
You want to break the Express down before it goes home?
It's it's about Ernie Davis, first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. Again, it's kind of like it's a Disney movie. It's along the lines of like The Rookie, like all this, same type of model for telling the story. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's probably a little underseated, to be honest. He didn't quite get the press other people did back then, obviously, because hold your ears, Cottrell, because he played for Cleveland. But it's a great story. If you haven't seen it, again, pick a Sunday morning and watch it. It's a very good movie. But Hoosiers could have been the 1 seed. So
yeah, I didn't realize it was the 4. I maybe poor planning on my behalf, but I really didn't think it was the 4.
that's just how loaded this bracket is.
I get it. Hoosiers is the clear-cut winner here, Norman Dale, and you got to pass the ball 5 times for your score.
Like if seeds hold, that's an Elite 8 matchup. Rudy versus Hoosiers, the Battle of Indiana.
I mean, it's going to be really tough against the 4-5, though.
True.
I'm not lying to you, bro. It means that much to me.
Agreed.
And Cottrell swept with Hoosiers, right?
He did.
Okay. This is sweeps throughout the.
We're getting the good ones.
Yeah, I know. Well, not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
This bracket and the South are going to be next round are going to be brutal.
Yes, that's correct. We got to get through this round.
Yep.
Caddyshack, a 6 seed, versus The Color of Money, the 11 seed.
The depth in this bracket is wild. Color of Money, Tom Cruise, Paul Newman, Pool Hustlers, very good movie, critically acclaimed. People won awards. It's a great movie. It's if you're into that whole kind of thing, like the plot of that movie is great. It's well acted. I think there's a part of that movie that anybody can pretty much relate to at some point. And then what can you say? I mean, it's a bad matchup.
Everything's a bad matchup with Caddyshack. Caddyshack's a very good movie.
Caddyshack is so funny, wildly inappropriate. You couldn't make Caddyshack today. There's no shot you can make Caddyshack today.
They could try.
They could try. The script would be terrible, and it would just be awful. Ronnie Dangerfield is absolutely just a star of that movie.
By the way, he has a great comedy club that closed down in New York called Dangerfields.
Yep.
I went to it multiple times. I loved it. It's a shame it closed down.
I think a lot of people, I don't want to say your generation so much, but like Cottrell's generation, for instance, have no idea like how big of a star he was.
He was hilarious.
And he was hilarious. He was a great stand-up comic. Caddyshack is one of my favorite movies of all time, not even a sports movie. I laugh at the same freaking parts over and over and over in that movie. Chevy Chase is good in that movie. It's
Rodney Dangerfield and Chevy Chase. Say less.
Say less.
Say less.
And then you got Bill Murray, who debatably steals the whole movie.
I
So
know.
It's Caddyshack all day for me.
Another sweep.
Yes, it is.
Here we go.
Caddyshack it is.
This is an easy one. Maybe I don't know as well as I should, but Major League, the 3 seed, is going against Sugar, the 14 seed. Major League is going to, Major League should be higher seeded than a 3, no?
Not in this bracket.
This is wild. Major League in a landslide here. I already know Cottrell's vote because he's a Cleveland homer. Major League's going to sweep this round. I'm sure it will. Do you want to give Sugar any love?
I will tell you this. I've gotten through the first half of it. Just because I just got tired. It wasn't putting me to sleep. It's good. It's good. Honestly, you'll like it. Watch it. You'll like it. It's good. It's not Major League. It's good though. Major League, again, for me, that is a top 5 baseball movie of all time for me. The characters, the script, the one-liners, just that's one of those movies.
Who is your favorite character in Major League?
Oof.
Is it Charlie Sheen? Is it the coach? Is it Willie Mays Hayes? Is it Serrano?
Pedro Serrano.
Yeah, Pedro
Sorry.
Tell him, Jamie, don't let him slide.
Threw a T in there. My bad. Jobu?
It might be Lou Brown for me.
Lou Brown's amazing.
Here's the worst part about that though. The assistant coach has 2 of the funniest lines in that entire movie, and I'm just not going into it because he's in jail for child porn.
Jesus.
But I love Major League.
Is it Dorn? I'm kidding.
I hate Dorn actually.
Dorn was supposed to be hated.
He was. Yeah.
Enough of this Olay shit, Dorn.
It's Major League for me all day.
Sorry, Sugar. Sugar. All right, so I don't know how this is against each other. This is ridiculous. No, this is so stupid. So dumb. 7 seed Hoop Dreams versus the 10 seed 8 Men Out. If you don't know about these 2 movies, you need to watch both of them.
Agreed. They're both, if you're a sports fan, they should be on your list. The star power in 8 Men Out alone, if you look at the cast, Charlie Sheen's in that movie as well. John Cusack. I mean, that movie is loaded as well. Hoop Dreams is, I feel like Hoop Dreams isn't as popular as, whatchamacallit, the one we were talking about last week with Denzel.
He Got Game?
He Got Game. I think it's better, though.
Yeah, this is where we'll disagree. I love Hoop Dreams.
I told you, I hadn't seen He Got Game for probably 10 years, and it was randomly on a week or 2 ago, and I watched it. I still liked it. Denzel was incredible because he's just incredible in everything he does.
It's the GOAT actor right there.
Yeah, I mean,
the greatest of all time. One.
I mean,
I'm saying it.
He's in that conversation. We could have that conversation.
Kevin the Troll on the wire line.
Diana Taurasi's still waiting. There was just parts of it that I guess I looked at it different because I'm 10 years older now, and I didn't like it. I still think it's a good movie. I just didn't like it as much as I did when I saw it when I was younger.
You know what the biggest problem with that movie is? It's a great movie, great story, great everything. The biggest problem that whole movie is?
Ray Allen can't act.
Ray Allen could not act at all. At all.
Perfect. At least we agree on that.
At all.
And
I also don't know how 5'10" Denzel and I guess his mother was like 4'11". She was small as hell. Made Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
How is that? That's it. Only 2 small problems I got when He Got Game. All right. So do you want to go first, second, or third here?
I'll go last.
You go last.
I'll go last.
Give me Cottrell's vote.
Cottrell went with Hoop Dreams.
Okay. So I'm going to give you an option. I'm going to give you a choice. I'm going 8 Men Out, and nothing against Hoop Dreams. Love Hoop Dreams. 8 Men Out.
This is not the position I thought I was going to be.
There goes the clean sweep.
The Black Sox scandal. Watching that entire series. Shoeless Joe Jackson, everything that happened with him. He didn't throw any games, but he was not really smart enough to understand what was going on.
Fair.
It was a great movie, man. If you're a baseball fan at all and you know anything, you don't know, just say you don't know anything about the Black Sox scandal, watch that movie. If you know about the Black Sox scandal, watch that movie. If you like baseball, watch that movie. I'm going 8 Man Out here. It's a great movie. Great. It's great in the sense that, like, it could be a 5.
Agreed. 8 Men Out is, I agree with everything you just said. It's weird to me because you look at some of the other baseball movies and the fanfare they get, hence a Field of Dreams, Major League, The Natural. It's never mentioned in those, and I think it's right there with them. I said it before, the cast of 8 Men Out is great. It's the kind of like the first, I don't want to say the first, but like Shoeless Joe is a huge part of Field of Dreams, obviously. Like the movie is centered around him.
Yeah.
But 8 Men Out actually is a historical look at like what really went down.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't smart. Great baseball player, was definitely
Wasn't smart. Still not in the Hall of Fame. It's a better movie. I like Hoop Dreams again. I think Hoop Dreams is better than He Got Game. I'm going 8 Men Out.
Yeah, 8 Men Out's the winner here. So this is what I meant earlier. I'm not going to lie to you here. I'm not going to lie to you here. This 215, and Field of Dreams is going against Draft Day. Now, everyone and their mother at home will be clamoring for Field of Dreams to win this, and Field of Dreams is an amazing movie, and it's great. Let me just give Draft Day its due, because I have never, ever, in this entire bracket, I have never thought, I still don't know what I'm picking. I'm being honest. I still don't know what I'm picking. Draft Day is one of my favorite movies ever. I loved, so like, let me give you an example. If you haven't watched Draft Day, think Moneyball, but football.
Oh, calm down.
I'm serious.
Calm down.
I love Draft Day, bro.
I'm a proponent of Draft Day. I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I like it. I think it's a good movie. It's another Kevin Costner crime here, actually. He has more movies in this thing than anybody.
I offered you 2 3s and a 1, and you told me to eat my fucking pancakes.
All right, number 1, Field of Dreams is my favorite baseball movie of all time. I think it's...
I know where Shelly's going.
Well, I mean, you knew where I was going before this.
I don't know where Cottrell went. I really don't. I'm going to make him go second. To see if it's even a conversation.
Draft Day is good, though. Again, it's one of the... It's not... I don't know the right word for it. It's definitely not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's unrealistic, though.
No, 100%. But the whole story about the Wisconsin quarterback that, like, we gave him the playbook. Yeah, Bo. They gave him the playbook, and he was the only one that lied about the playbook. He didn't read the playbook. They stapled a $100 bill to the last page, and he didn't say anything about, oh, you guys got me. Like, the story of his teammates not liking him.
Bo Callahan.
It reminds me of Tommy Boy, right? Bo Callahan.
Yeah.
Just Callahan Auto. Sorry.
Yeah, and then you had Brian Drew, who was the only one that went back and mailed the money back and said, keep it and give it back to me when I win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a great story. It has facets of it that are great. The security guy cracks me up.
Arian Foster.
Yeah. Security guard cracks me up. Most people do not know that's Arian Foster. Yeah, he plays the running back that they end up drafting. It's a good movie, dude. I like it. Field of Dreams, again, is my favorite baseball movie of all times. James Earl Jones is incredible in that movie. Ray Liotta as Shoeless Joe Jackson, which we just mentioned. And again, for me personally, the ending of that movie is what makes that movie for me for certain reasons.
Yes.
So,
No. Yes.
So it's Field of Dreams.
You just gave me, I'm not kidding, you just gave me goosebumps. My hair stood up. Where did Cottrell go in this?
Cottrell went Draft Day.
Okay,
I'm telling you right now.
Hang on. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not know where I was going when I walked into this studio tonight. He just made my hair stand up without, listen, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this. In my world, Draft Day is a 4. In my world.
I wouldn't fight you on that.
But Field of Dreams is a 1.
And that was the only thing if it wasn't in this bracket.
I love Draft Day too, RJ. I do. I love Draft Day. It shouldn't be a 15. I gotta go Field of Dreams here. I'm staying with Field of Dreams because honestly, but I'm not kidding when I say this. I needed to give Draft Day more of a due. I needed to give it more of its due because it shouldn't be a 15. We have movies on, like Sugar's a 14. I probably wouldn't have voted for Draft Day over Major League either. I would have voted for over Caddyshack. I love Caddyshack. I'd have voted for Draft Day over Caddyshack.
I'll tell you what, like, God willing, we're doing this, like, say, like, another, like, 10 years. Draft Day will age well.
Oh, 100%.
Draft Day kind of has, like, a recent bias thing kind of going against
Both
them.
the movies have to do it Father's passing, too.
True.
Both of them.
It's a way bigger role in Field of Dreams.
I get it.
But, no, you're right. I totally forgot about that. You're right. Yeah, because he took his job.
But we're going to go with Field of Dreams as a close cut winner. So we have our final 32 movies.
So that one went chalk, correct?
Chalk the whole. No, we got 10 over 7. 8 Man Out was a 10 over 7. So we got. Listen, we've had an upset every bracket. Scroll up all the way to the top. Like, all the way to the top. Just scroll up. So we're going to go over the whole left side, the East, next time. And I don't think you have the other bracket up. And it's okay. But, like, this is just the South and the Midwest.
This is where it
you
gets
have
hard.
Remember the Titans. You got Any Given Sunday. Scroll down a little bit more. I'm going to skip the ones that I shouldn't do this anymore because I'm going to give away picks and I don't want to do that. But Blue Chips versus Friday Night Lights is going to be an outstanding matchup. Outstanding matchup.
There's definitely. I'm dreading certain picks already because I'm like I've peaked a little bit and know that I'm absolutely 100% going to be voting against movies that I've probably seen 100 times. Like no bullshit 100 times that I love.
How many times have I said this movie should have been seated higher in this bracket? A couple? I've said it like every friggin' one.
I think some of them are like legit though. Like
I
again,
know.
like the Midwest. Like yeah, like you're probably right. Like if Draft Day was in like the West, that's probably like a 5 seed.
Cottrell, welcome on the wire line. We know you voted Draft Day, and I almost did.
Biggest homer ever. I would have left the show.
No, you wouldn't.
I would have walked out.
No, you wouldn't have. Okay, that's it for the movie brackets this week. We will have the East and the West back next week. We will do the entire left side of the bracket next week.
Yeah, so we'll do the Sweet 16 for both sides next week.
Well, no.
Well,
no,
for
just the left side.
Well, left side. That's what I mean.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, so we have baseball lists, and I love these. We do this second year in a row doing them.
Yep.
I love them. I absolutely love them. This is the first baseman's list. And I'm not going to lie to you. My hardest decision, by the way, I really want to rip Cottrell for one on here. There's one on here that Cottrell should be ripped for, but I won't go too nuts. I'm going to read them out because I know Shally can't see the whole list. Shally, you know your list.
Where's
He's in the middle.
he just won an issue already.
Okay. So, Shally, we're going to start with your first baseman's list. I'm going to read them out to you, and you can just, do you have it?
I have mine, so
okay,
yeah, I can do that for mine. First base. All right. We're going bottom up, right?
Yep, bottom up.
All
10 to 1.
So Brandon Belt, I got Brandon Belt 10. People knew we were doing this, and I already got messages, and I'm going to address it now because I'm not doing it. Rhys Hoskins does not belong on this list. You all can be Philly homers if you want, and you want to drink that Kool-Aid, that's fine. I'm going to tell you the stat right now of why Rhys Hoskins cannot.
Are you just using? Nobody has Rhys Hoskins on their list.
That's not true.
Nobody here.
Oh, no. I'm talking about. There was people, because people know I do not like him. People knew we were doing this tonight. And there was a couple people that mentioned it last night at the field, and people are like, I know you're saying that you're going to put him on a list, and I'm like, he's not on my list. I promise you.
It's not on any of our lists.
So anyway, Brandon Belt had -7 runs saved as a defensive first baseman,
Which is bad.
Awful.
Terrible.
Okay. Brandon Belt was the 29th ranked defense starting first baseman by every metric last year. -7 runs. Rhys Hoskins is 30th. And Brandon Belt there's a couple names on here you can look at that we can clearly agree that these guys are on the list because they hit the shit out of the ball, not defensively. Brandon Belt is by far the worst defensive first baseman on definitely my list and probably on anybody else's list.
Yeah, you have him 10. Me and Cottrell both have him 9.
Okay. Fair. Rhys Hoskins is doubly as bad as a defensive first baseman as Brandon Belt. Rhys Hoskins was minus 14 run save.
That's double.
Double. That's how bad he is.
Yeah, no, you're getting no argument from me.
So that's why he's not on my list.
You're number 9.
Number 9, Brandon Belt. Good hitter. I don't want to say he kind of came out of nowhere last year, but last year was kind of like his first like big breakout year. Defense holds him down, which I just went over. I would have liked to have seen where his numbers would have finished because he missed the last like month and a half when he broke his wrist. So he's number 10 for me. I think he's a guy that obviously next year could be higher. Joey Votto, number 9. This was a top 3 or 4 guy for the last decade. He's on the back end of his career now. Still a very great hitter, very smart hitter, above average defensively. I just don't get why he just won't leave Cincinnati. But I applaud him for his loyalty. He stays with that team, and they're a continuing sinking ship year after year. They gave away all their good players again this year, and he's still staying there. Yuli Gurriel for Houston, big breakout year last year. Again, this is the guy next year will probably be higher on our list. Actually, a little bit better defensively than I thought he was. Very good hitter, a lot of raw power for a young kid. Just getting better.
Yep.
Pete Alonso, 7 for me. I hate the Mets, but he didn't have the fall off like I thought he would from his rookie year. He's actually a little bit better.
Hit an off year, 37 home runs.
That's an off year. That's
unreal.
Yeah. So I give him all the credit in the world. I think he's better than I thought he was going to be. I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'll give him his credit. So I think he's going to be a stalwart on this list for the next 8 to 10 years. His numbers are probably going to go up a little bit this year because the Mets, their lineup got better, and I don't think Lindor can have a bad year as they had last year. So number 6 for me is Jose Abreu. It's crazy to see that him at number 6 for me, but again, defensively holds him back a little bit, and it's just the guys above him are just, I don't want to say better, but they're just having better years. Dude mashes the ball. He hits in the middle of that Chicago White Sox lineup. They're the favorite to win that division again this year. Big Jose Abreu fan. He's getting a little bit older, so again, you like to say all the time, this isn't a career achievement list. It's a projection list, so him being number 6 on the list is not me saying he's going to have a bad year. I just think these guys above him are going to have better years. Max Muncy, LA Dodgers.
So I want you to park there for a minute.
I know why. Go ahead.
You are the only one that has Max Muncy on their list. The reason I don't have him on my list is because his serious injury. I don't know when he's going to play.
True.
And if it's a projection list for 2022, I want to be clear. I don't think that Max Muncy's not a top 10 first baseman. I just don't know when he's going to play. Is he going to play in June, July, August?
It's going to be close. I mean, I think
that's the only reason I don't have him.
No,
I just want to.
neither fair.
Me or Cottrell don't.
I think the thing with him is I think we're all going to agree that Dodgers probably the best lineup in baseball.
Yep.
I think he can play. I think he can come back in June and play 5 months and still probably have crazy numbers if he's hitting. I like Max Muncy too. He's a guy that like kind of hung around. Finally, like somebody gave him a chance. He's like, I don't know. Kind of looks like he's a little out of shape, but then like he's like more athletic than he looks. Like they played him at second base before. It's funny. I like Max Muncy. He's a cool dude. Paul Goldschmidt, number 4, St. Louis. Very good defensively. First year in St. Louis didn't go that well. Last year he had a great year. Right around 100 RBIs. I think he's like +2 runs saved defensively.
I wonder why he had a better year. When you put a kid in front of him.
We'll get there soon.
Okay.
But another one, really good guy. Love him. Big guy. He's just a really good player.
Good defensive player, good offensive player.
Yep. Period. Number 3, Matt Olson. So happy that he's in our division now.
Hey, listen, we lost Freddie Freeman. I guess that's like a plus, right?
It's a plus for the Phillies because he hits .850 for his career against us. But, I mean, I would have been happy if they had to, like, play somebody else there, and they went and got Matt Olson. Better defensive first baseman than people give him credit for. Younger.
People give him credit for? He's probably, if not the best for defensive first baseman in the league, he's top 3.
He's top 3. You know that.
100%.
You know that. Most casual people that don't know who he is.
They just think he hits bombs.
Correct.
He's very good defensively.
Yeah, you look at the defense that Oakland had on their corners last year. It's insanity. Because Chapman, again, defensively is one of the best.
We'll get into that.
We will.
Platinum glove winner.
But yes, a lot of people don't know about Matt Olson because he played in Oakland. You're going to learn about him this year. Kid's a stud. Unfortunately, we're going to see him a lot. Kid's a stud, and he's younger. I know a lot of people trash the Braves for letting go of Freeman. They got a younger, debatably number-wise, probably just as good and cheaper option. I mean, can't really fault him. Kid's a great player, though.
I'll get into that.
I'm not going to say what I was just going to say because I don't think that's going to be true. But he's going to be in the top 3 for a very long time on this list. Number 2, Freddie Freeman. This is tough for me because I hate the Braves. And I am ecstatic that we don't have to see him 18 times this year. He's great defensively. He's a great hitter. Hits for power, hits for average, drives the ball, walks. He's a great human being. If you don't know Freddie Freeman's story about last year, like him going to training camp when he had his kid and he had COVID and that whole thing, ESPN did a big thing on it. He's been mic'd up a bunch of times. He's just a good dude. Like Freddie Freeman, no matter if he played on the Braves, Yankees, Mets, whoever, all the teams I hate. Freddie Freeman's a great human being. He's a great baseball player. I struggled with this because I have who I have at 1. And
I'm glad you struggled with it too.
I tussled with it because I'm just going to go to 1. 1, I have Vlad Guerrero Jr. I tussled with it because I'm torn between. I think there's an equal chance that he regresses a little bit this year, as there is that he's better than he was last year, and that is the fence that I'm on with Vlad. I think there's a 30% chance he comes back a little bit, and I think there's a 30% chance that he surpasses what he did last year. Either way, though, I think it puts him above Freddie, and that's
and there's a 40% chance he stays the same.
Correct. and if he did, two of those 3 options, and you could argue all three, he's better than Freddie. The other thing that factored in, as good of an offense as Atlanta was last year, Freddie's going to a better lineup. I think Freddie could have the same year. If he did the same things he did last year, his numbers are going to be better hitting in the 3-hole in that Dodgers lineup. So I also think there's a chance Freddie's numbers spike a little bit. So it's close. I know they were. You foreshadowed last week's episode. They were number 1 and 2 for me. They should be 1 and 2 for everybody.
But the thing I found most amusing to me is what an embarrassment of riches the Dodgers have, that you have 2 first basemen in your top 5.
Yeah.
Max Muncy will not play a game at first base there this year.
Yes, he will.
Freddie Freeman's going to play there all year. Max Muncy will be the DH.
With the universal DH now, they will absolutely give Freddie Freeman days off. 100%.
Okay, he'll make 6 games.
I'm not going to say they're going to split time. I'm not saying they're going to split time, but he's going to play there.
It's an embarrassment of riches. All right, I'll go over my list because Cottrell's not here, and then we'll read through Cottrell's. So essentially, I moved Max Muncy out. So a lot of me and Bill's list is almost identical. It's actually scary. My 10's Anthony Rizzo, who Bill doesn't have on his list. Left-handed bat, short porch, New York. I think he's going to have a lot of home runs. He's a doubles machine, good hitter.
He also falls into that Freddie Freeman category for me.
What do you mean?
Like, I would have a beer with Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Like really, cool, good dude.
Yeah, no, 100%. Anthony Rizzo is my 10. Brandon Belt is my 9 for offensive reasons only. Joey Votto, it's funny. I thought about this over and over and over and over and over again. And I decided to keep Joey Votto on the list. I wanted to move him out because the Reds stink. He won't leave. He's declining in his age. But last year he did something. He changed his swing completely. And he started putting the ball in the air. He's just I'm not hitting the ball on the ground anymore. And he started driving the ball more. He had one of the highest exit velos in the whole league. So he landed at my number 8. He's a great leader, a good defensive first baseman. for his age. Let me just be clear. Jose Abreu is my 7. Yuli Gurriel is my 6, and I can't. The only reason I can't have him higher, I have the Polar Bear 5. I have Pete Alonso 5, and that kid rakes, man. He rakes offensively, rakes. His off year was 37 home runs, and he's got a better lineup around than this year. I think Pete Alonso is. I hate it.
So do I. Polar Bear is a plus nickname though.
100%. My real struggle here was 4 and 3. I'm gonna tell you why. It's not a lifetime achievement award. It's not a who's better. It's who's going to have a better 2022. Matt Olson is my 3. Paul Goldschmidt is my 4. But Goldschmidt plays in a wildly easier division. He is going to see dog shit pitching. He has better, in my opinion, he has better protection in the lineup than Olson will. And I think that Goldschmidt is a better
up front he will.
Better hitter.
In front of him he will.
Correct. Better hitter. Olson hits more power, where Goldschmidt is a better pure hitter. Their defensive numbers are almost identical. They're very good. My biggest argument for 2 and 1 with Freddie and Vlad, I have Vlad 1-2. We have Vlad across the board. And I struggle with this also because Vlad Guerrero Jr. had a remarkable year. Was only on one person's top 10 list last year. He was number 1, 100% across the board, except the fact that Freddie Freeman won a World Series as one of the most clutch hitters in all of baseball. And it really depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about who I'd want to have at bat, who I'd want to have at first base for the 9th inning, or who's going to have a better overall year statistically? Overall year statistically, I'm going to go with Vlad at 1 and Freddie at 2. But who I'd want to have at the plate with the game on the line is Freddie Freeman. Who I'd want to have at first base in the bottom of the 9th inning making a play is Freddie Freeman. So those two are remarkably close. Matt Olson, I almost had him 4th. I had Paul Goldschmidt 4 and Olson 3 because Olson plays in the NL East. And it's a tough division. Like, even the Marlins have Alcantara. They have pitchers that can really shut people down.
Well, they should have Sixto back this year too. I don't argue that point at all. That's a very good point actually. The pitching in the NL East is way better than Central.
So I'll read out Cottrell's list, and you can react to it. Just naturally react as I read it out. He has Rizzo 10 like I do. He has Belt 9 like I do. He has Gurriel behind Votto, which I wouldn't have done, but you have you have Gurriel. Me and you both have Gurriel ahead of Votto.
Correct.
He has Votto ahead of Gurriel, 8 and 7.
I mean, all 3 of those players we all have pretty much in the same spots, maybe separated by 1. So, then, across the board, we kind of agree there.
Abreu 6.
Yeah.
Goldschmidt 5.
Yeah.
Matt Olson 4. Polar Bear 3.
That's absurd.
I think it's absurd because, number 1, Pete Alonso plays in a very pitcher-friendly park in New York. I also think he plays in a way tougher division. Well, Olson plays in the same division, but I'm speaking about Goldschmidt.
Like, I have him 6. You had him what, 5?
5 and 5. I was reaching. I think I could easily
because if I don't have Muncy, that's where he is on my list. So like,
you have him 7. You have Abreu ahead of him.
Oh yeah, I do. I think, but like, I wouldn't argue 5. 3 is absurd.
It's a little high.
A lot high.
And then Freddie Freeman 2 and Vlad Guerrero 1. Let's move on to third base.
The hot corner.
The hot corner. This list right here is a little different. It's a little different.
I saved all mine from last year, so I want to look at mine last year real quick.
I love for third base.
Yeah, I saved all of them from last year.
Awesome. So I'm gonna go first because you went first last time.
Yeah.
For my number 10, I have Matt Chapman.
Ooh, this is a lot different.
Matt Chapman is, in my opinion, he won Platinum Glove, best defensive third baseman in the entire league. He's not the best hitter, but he's breaking out into that category. And I think this year he will become a top 10 hitter. I mean, it's tough, the hot corner. I don't know if he's a top 10 hitter, but his glove puts him in the top 10 for me. I have Chapman 10. I have Rendon 9 in a bounce back year. I think Alex Rendon could easily be Anthony Rendon could easily be 9. It says Alex, that's why I read it that way, but that's a typo. Obviously, it's Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon 9 is in that LA lineup with Ohtani and Trout. I could easily see him breaking back in. I have Chris Bryant higher than both you guys. I have Chris Bryant 8. He's playing in Colorado. That ball's going to fly there. He might hit 45, 50 home runs. And if he does that, he's definitely going to be higher than 8. This is where I get a little bit different than you guys do. I have Bregman all the way down to 7. And I'll tell you why. I promise you I will get to it. Nothing against Bregman, but the next 2 guys are on the ascend in my eyes. One guy broke out last year, and I think he will continue to ascend, is Austin Riley. I have him number 6. I have him higher than Bregman. I think he's better at every stage of the game than Bregman. It's just my opinion. I think he's younger. He's going to be better defensively. He's better hitter. He's probably a better hitter now. Yan Mercado, I have 5. You want to talk about a guy that rips the cover off the baseball. Mercado's my 5. Huge bounce back year for Manny Machado. I think Manny Machado has a huge year in San Diego. I have him number 4, one of the best fielders. Number 3, I have Rafael Devers, which, by the way, he was the catalyst. Him and Xander Bogaerts were the catalyst for Boston being around so long last year. Talking about a guy jumped up on this list from last year. Probably was he even on your list?
Who?
Rafael Devers.
Last year?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No.
Devers was probably the catalyst to that team last year.
Yeah,
him and Xander.
Him and Bogaerts just ran wild in that lineup last year.
My number 2 is J-Ram. I have Jose Ramirez 2. Plays on an awful Cleveland team. He has very, very small protection, and he'll probably be traded by the middle of the year. My number 1, and I am so sure of this. I think he has an amazing year this year. Nolan Arenado, one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball.
Ever.
Yeah, ever. And I think he's going to tear the fucking cover off the ball this year. I think Arenado takes another giant leap, and I think Nolan Arenado is my runner-up for NL MVP this year.
That's a bold statement.
I'm just making it clear.
Listen, you won't find a bigger fan of Nolan Arenado than me, so I'm here for that. As long as he's losing the MVP to Bryce.
That's not what I have. But you could probably guess who my MVP pick is, but we'll get into that on our preview show next week.
A lot of baseball next week.
Oh, yes. You want me to read off Cottrell's before you go?
Yeah, I'll go last on this one.
Okay. So Cottrell's got Josh Donaldson at 10.
Okay.
Chris Bryant at 9, which I have Bryant at 8. Nothing crazy there. I think he's got.
I'm trying. All right. I can't say it, so I'm just waiting to hear who he absolutely just snubbed then.
He has. Well, it would be. No, it's not Rendon. Jesus. Who? I didn't. Oh, I see exactly who it is.
Okay.
That's unbelievable.
Great.
I have him 5. The person he snubbed. Yan Moncada.
Wow. Okay. We're going to get into that.
Austin Riley 8, which I think is too low. He's got Rendon 7, a little too high. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. Justin Turner 6, which you have on your list. I do not have on mine.
Whoa, bro.
I don't.
I know. You're giving away my list.
Manny Machado 5, Bregman 4, Arenado 3, Devers 2, and obviously Homer Simpson went with J-Ram 1.
I'm fine with J-Ram 1. The rest of his list is suspect. Oh, God. I don't know how you don't have Mercado on the list.
I have him 5. I don't think there's a guy that really hits the ball harder than Mercado.
He just smashes fastballs. He just doesn't miss them. He barrels everything. Who was the?
Donaldson 10. Donaldson over Moncada. Like, let's just do that.
All right, I'm gonna go over my list. Let me get into that. I'll start with number 10. I
have an honorable mention.
I have an honorable mention.
Chappie.
Chapman. I have Matt Chapman.
Unlike Jim Chapman last night.
Oh, I love Chappie.
I love Chappie.
I'm
I'm kidding, Jim. Matt would have made those plays, though.
Yeah, true.
I'm kidding.
True. So
I made a couple errors last night, too. Let me just fall on my own sword.
So did I. So I have Chapman honorable mention. Believe it or not, he's actually regressing as a hitter. 2 years ago, he had his best year. Last year, he hit 212. Chapman continues to be up here. Out of all these guys, he had the best defensive rating last year.
Yep.
Him and Arenado were tied. I'll get to him in a little bit when I get up there. If you want to watch how to play third base, watch Matt Chapman play third base.
Yeah, like you can't watch Nolan Arenado play third base and learn how to play third base. He's just too good. Chapman plays it so fundamentally right. It's just big difference.
He is, but he's just as athletic and flashy as Nolan. Like again, like if you want to watch how to play that position correctly, those guys are 1 and 1A. That's no disrespect to anybody else on the list. They are just head and shoulders above
defensively,
everybody else defensively. So I have him number 10. I have I have him honorable mention, Rendon number 10. This was tough for me because I almost flip-flopped these numerous times because Rendon is definitely the way better hitter. Rendon, when he was healthy last year, he was -6 runs.
Yeah. No,
he had a horrible year defensively.
He's not a bad defender, though.
He's not. And
historically.
Historically, that's what I'm saying. And obviously from watching him play against us forever with the Nationals, the guy could play defense.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He's had a bad year last year. So I do think he rebounds. I have him on list number 10. I don't want to leave him off. Number 9, Chris Bryant. I do agree with you. I don't know who the hell's going to be on base for him, but he's going to hit 1 million home runs in Colorado. He's
pop-ups. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's a fly ball hitter as it is. I think he has a very good year there. I guess we're saying at this point, third base is still his predominant position. I mean, he plays literally all over the place, but he's on the list number 9. It is what it is. From 8 to 5, I struggled with.
100%. So did I.
I didn't know what order to do them, so then I really broke down. I really tried to stay true to where I thought they were going to be at the end of the year. So this is where I went. I love Mercado. Love him. To your point, he crushes fastballs. He's actually below average defensively. That was the big thing with him. If you compare him to Riley, Bregman, and Turner, out of the 4 of them, he is the worst defensively. Not a big average guy, which I don't care because his power numbers are all there. But that's why he landed at 8 for me. Justin Turner, he's another one. He's almost I don't want to say Chase Utley, but he's a throwback type player like that. I love Justin Turner.
Yeah.
He's got
no gloves.
He's got 9 pounds of pine tar on his helmet. He's always dirty. Like he's that type
no
of
bat and gloves.
Yeah, he wears bat and gloves.
Does he?
He does. But
he's
he's
a catcher from Houston that didn't wear bat and gloves for whatever.
Oh, dude, the beard.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. I'll find it though. I know who you're talking about. He played for the Braves for a while too.
Yep.
Justin Turner. I've always said this. Like, if you listen to the show, I'm definitely more of a purist, old school baseball guy. I think if you call somebody a ball player, it's one of the best compliments you can give them. Justin Turner is a ball player. Justin Turner is a guy that slides, dives, leaves everything out in the field. He's that type of guy, and he's kind of becoming like the senior guy now on that team. Like he's been there the longest.
That's fair. I just think he gets lost in the sauce in that Dodgers lineup.
He does, but his numbers are his numbers. He's not the Bellinger. You know,
what's he gonna bat 8 for them this year?
Nah, I guarantee you bats.
I get it. My point being is that lineup's loaded.
It is. He'll be in the top 5. I guarantee you. Number 6. Not that I'm not as high as on him as you are.
I have him 6 too.
Okay. Well, I have the other guy in front of him, you and behind him.
Yeah, I just like Jan Moncada.
Yeah.
I think he's
Austin Riley is a guy that I agree with you. Probably doesn't get enough press for a bigger guy. He's a very smooth third baseman, and he's a big dude. Unlimited power. He's actually plus defensively. His average, I think you're gonna see that slide a little bit now that people kind of know how to pitch to him. But he's a stud. He belongs in the middle of the list. Alex Bregman. I will go on record. I don't like Alex Bregman.
Neither do I. Little haterism.
For obvious reasons. That being said, he was hurt most of last year. I do respectfully disagree with you between him and Riley. Bregman will only turn 27 this year. He's still really young. If he's healthy and playing well, he is the better defensive player between the two. He's a better hitter for average. Riley's power numbers are going to be a little bit better.
Riley's ascend is way higher right now.
It could be. You're 100% right. Bregman also plays in a very friendly park, though. Short porch of left, Houston.
Fair point.
That's literally what it came down to for me separating these two. The top four for me stand out. This was the easiest part of the list. I wrote those four names down before.
Me and you just swapped the 1 and 2. We have the same top four.
Yeah. So, number 4 for me, Manny Machado. He actually had a great year last year. He was plus 7 runs saved.
Defensively, yeah.
Yeah.
About 260, right?
I think he was higher than that.
Was he 280?
He actually had a really good year. I think he just got overshadowed because of Tatis Jr. 278, 28 home runs, 106 RBIs.
That's not a great year. For Machado, 28 home runs, 278.
When you're hitting behind Tatis, those are good numbers, dude.
No one's arguing that they're good numbers. It's not. Okay, I get it. Say less. Sorry, I said 7. It was 6. He was 6 defensive runs saved, 4.4 for WAR for defensive. Probably not the best year of his career, obviously, but again, an average Manny Machado year is a good year for everybody else. And I could easily swap Machado with Devers.
Yeah. Devers just had such a great offensive year. Devers is the worst defensive third baseman on any of these lists.
Yep.
Like, he's awful. He's terrible.
It's really tough to play third base.
It is. But you have some all-time guys on here. But
Facts.
again, his offensive numbers were just off the charts. Like, to your point, you were 100% right. Him and Bogarts carried that team last year. Carried that team. If they had big games, they won. If they didn't hit, they lost. It was really that simple for Boston last year. I think 3's.
If you swap those two and Machado played in Boston and Devers played in San Diego, I think Devers would be 6. I think Machado might be 1 or 2. No, 2 or 3.
I wouldn't argue that.
That's the thing to me.
Yeah.
Just San Diego is such a big ballpark.
It's a big ball. And they play a lot of day games. He was number 3 for me. Just like the first baseman list, I struggled with the top 2 here.
I didn't.
Ramirez is the better pure hitter. Nolan had a little bit of, I don't want to say he regressed. He just didn't have a normal year for him.
Gotta get used to St. Louis, just like Goldschmidt.
Listen, I'm not, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me. I got just absolute mounds and mounds of shit 2 years ago when I said, give them Bohm, give them whoever the hell they want, and get me Nolan Arenado because he was that good. Where are all my Bohm supporters now? Because you would take freaking Arenado.
Not me. I've never been a Bohm supporter.
Not you, but I'm saying that people are like, you can't give up Bohm. He's like our best prospect. Prospects don't even win the World Series. Well, he is now, but
he's better than Bohm.
At that time, Bohm was our number 1 guy. My point is, you're getting a sure thing. When I said what I said earlier, when you said him, he's literally in that tier now. Like, he is Roland, Schmidt, Brooks Robinson. Those are the top 4 defensive third basemen in the history of baseball. That's where we're at now with him. That's how freaking good Nolan Arenado is. I put Ramirez 1, and this is why. And you already alluded to it. He's going to get traded.
Yeah.
I think he gets traded to a contender with a good lineup. So I don't think he has to worry about.
You think he's a better pure hitter than Arenado? That's fair. I think Arenado's a miles better defender. Not saying J-Ram's a bad defender.
I wouldn't argue that.
I just think that Arenado is going to bat 320 this year. And if he bats 320 this year and plays the defense, he wins. He's going to be second or first in MVP odds.
If he puts up those numbers, then yeah, we're a totally different discussion.
I'm so high on Arenado this year.
I love Arenado. I actually think subconsciously I'm such an Arenado homer that I kind of talked myself out of this one a little bit. But I have no problem with him being 1 or 2. But that's literally how good both of them are.
That's a very good conversation. We can exit this. Well, next week we'll have the middle of the infield, second base, shortstop. They should be some fun conversations.
Then we get to the good one.
The outfield and then DH we're going to do just for fun 1 week into the season. We do outfield and DH same week.
That's fine. We're gonna have to.
Just DH.
That's gonna be tough because with it being universal now, like
I know.
that's.
But
Like,
we didn't know that when we created.
I get that, but I'm saying we're gonna have to like come up with like qualifications. So like
Okay.
what you're gonna have to do to get on that list. Like,
So like you could use Max again.
correct. I'm saying you can't be like to that point. If we're agreeing, like Freddie Freeman's probably only going to DH like 10 games next year.
He can't be your
Correct.
Yeah.
He can't like that has to be their like they have to be like, yo, like you have lobster.
So Schwarber would be like the Phillies.
Correct.
That's fair.
Okay, fine. We're good.
See, we agree sometimes. This is working. We've not yelled at each other at all.
If you've lobster claws for hands and you can't catch at first base, then like you can be a DH.
Okay. So we got a couple NFL news.
Big news.
What do you want to do first? Oh, so we can't do MLB Free Agency right now. We have 6 minutes left.
Well, we're just gonna do it all next week because listen, two of them we're going to talk about when we do our Phillies preview anyway. So we'll push free agency next week because it's going to be a big baseball show next week.
We got to talk about the rule change just happened, and we got to talk about Arians.
Which one do you want to do first?
I want to do the rule change first. I want to know your thoughts on the rule change. If you guys don't know at home, NFL passed the rule change. In the playoffs and playoffs only, both teams will be able to possess the football, as opposed to if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, the game was over previously. Now both teams can possess the football. I'll let you start.
There's two things I hate about this rule.
Okay, just as long as you hate it.
Number one, I hate the rule. Number two, they're only using it for playoff games. So like this literally, listen.
Well, there's no ties. I get it.
That's fine. But that would make sense to me. They'd be like, hey, we don't want ties in regular season games, so like that doesn't become a tiebreaker for a playoff spot. That would make sense to me. If you haven't lived under a rock, this all came to fruition because of the Chiefs-Bills game. I need your help here.
Yeah.
What are the three sides of football?
Offense, defense, and special teams.
Thank you. You got to play all three to win a freaking football game.
That's correct.
If you get to overtime, you can't go, oh, I don't want to play defense anymore and expect to win a playoff game in the NFL. This is dumb. You know what this is? This is something that I never thought would creep in to the NFL. This is a participation trophy rule. That's what this is. Like, if you're Buffalo, you got to play defense for the first 60 minutes of the game, did you not? So you don't think you should be able to? You don't have to play in freaking overtime to win a playoff game? You have to play defense. It's part of the effing game.
I don't care about the first 60. Or I don't care about the first 59 minutes of the game. I don't care about the first 59 minutes and 43 seconds of the game. 47 seconds of the game. I care about the last 13 seconds of the game. You had the lead. The Kansas City Chiefs got the ball at their own 25-yard line with 13 seconds left. They went 40 yards and kicked a game-tying field goal to send it to overtime in 13 seconds. Let me tell you why I think this rule is bad and why I think it's reactive. It's not necessarily something it's a reactive rule. Because of the Bills-Chiefs game, they reacted. So many people are like, what did Josh Allen never got his chance? You know who else didn't get a chance?
For the record, who never bitched about it either.
Correct. I think that the NFL made a huge mistake with this. So let me give you an example. For the last 50 years, if you won the coin toss in overtime, what is the first thing you elected to do?
Receive.
That's not going to happen anymore in the playoffs. I'm going to defer.
Yeah, so if I know I'm getting the ball, I want to see what I have to do. It's like the college rule. You want to go second. Nobody picks offense first in college. They pick defense because they want to know what they have to do.
And I think the worst part of it is, and just going a little bit further with it, is the fact that they've literally said it's okay for you to allow a touchdown. Now watch this. Ready? You allow a touchdown on the first drive, and I'm the Bills. Watch how this works out. Ready? Bills go and score a touchdown. Well, I give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm going for 2. And then the Chiefs, well, we didn't get the ball back again. When we left, we had scored a touchdown. Or how about this, ready? Let's go through it again. Let's just say they continued to score touchdowns, right? The Chiefs scored a touchdown, and then the Bills scored a touchdown. And the Chiefs got the ball back, and they had 2 possessions, and the Bills only had 1. That's unfair too, right? it's like, when does it stop? Defense is a part of a football game.
It's a can of worms.
Listen, if you want to change the playoff rules, and the NFL will never do this because it eliminates X plays, but go to adopt college rules. And I know the NFL won't do it because it eliminates the Tyreek Hill, the X play, the Deshaun Jackson, the 50-yard bomb, the exciting walk-off. Like, it eliminates that.
See,
so,
No, I agree with you. And I said from the get-go, I think college football does it right.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
If you want to factor it that way, college football also puts it to 25 because they don't want to eliminate the kickers from overtime in college. Obviously, a 45-yard field goal, not that it's automatic in the NFL, but in college, it can be a debacle. And fine, they give away the ball in the 40. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
It's still gimmicky to me, but I'd rather see them do it that way than what they're going to do now. I think they should keep it the way it is.
And for the people out there that think that this is just a coin toss, like a coin toss is deciding a game, it's not. Deciding a game is offense, defense, and special teams. You have the opportunity to play defense and stop them. Let me ask you another question. Both teams get to possess the football, right? Sounds stupid, right? But what happens if the first team gets a pick six? They never possess the football offensively.
I'm assuming that ends.
I get it,
yeah.
But could the Chiefs have it? Like, let's just say the Chiefs have the ball first and they get safety. Could they kick an onside kick? Buffalo never possessed the football.
That's true.
And I'm sure that any score on the defensive side the first time, but like that makes the team that receives the ball first at a severe disadvantage.
I agree. That's again another gripe of it. You're now penalizing a team from winning the coin toss where it should be an advantage. You've taken the advantage out of it. And to your other point, I 100% agree with. People just make it sound like, oh, Kansas City got the ball at the games where they're going to score. No, you still had a chance to stop them, and you still have to go out and make Kansas City execute, which they did. Kansas City shouldn't get punished for that.
It went 75 yards, 40 yards in 13 seconds, and 75 yards in overtime.
What, like 6 plays?
Yeah, it wasn't hard.
And that's Buffalo's fault. That's not Kansas City's fault.
And the last comment of the night, Bruce Arians stepping away. Looks like Byron Leftwich is getting passed up for the head coaching job. Looks like Todd Bowles will be the head coach. And I think that I don't know if that's the worst thing. I just don't know.
I mean, look, you obviously have Bowles has the previous experience. I think with it maybe being like so late, maybe so close to the season, maybe they feel like that was kind of putting Leftwich in a bad spot, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Leftwich didn't want it. I mean, I'm sure by tomorrow morning we're going to know a lot more about this than we do now. I'm just glad that it broke.
I need to say a point.
Before.
This lends to all the people that have been talking about all offseason that Tom Brady and Bruce Arians had issues. This lends that all the credence it needs. The owner of the Buccaneers talked to Tom Brady, hey, we'll have Bruce step into a different role. We'll announce it in a couple weeks to make sure, that it doesn't look like it's connected, like you're pushing the guy into retirement.
Here's the
I really believe that, man.
The one reason I'll disagree with you. Bruce Arians is kind of one of those, and this is one of the reasons I think they butt heads, because Bruce Arians goes, oh, like you won 7 Super Bowls? That's cool. That was a shit pass. Like, what were you looking at? Like, and I think Bruce Arians is a very no-nonsense, kind of no bullshit guy, and I think if that's the case, Arians would have just quit and been like, this is why. I don't think it's that. I could be wrong. You could be right. Just for me, knowing how he is as a human being, besides being a coach, that's why I don't think it's true. And I really
hate the Bruce Arians slander. I really do.
I think he's a cool guy. And I will say this: I feel like if that was the case, then I feel like Brady doesn't come back to Tampa Bay. If it was really that bad.
Do you know they're still talking? There's still a faction of people in the world that believe Brady is forcing a trade to Miami.
I mean, there's people that think the earth is flat too. Doesn't mean they're right.
There's still a faction.
I'm not saying there's not credence to what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think there's other things that are more strong that point to that not being the case. listen, the one thing about Bruce Arians, like you watch the guy like go to shake hands and like the end of the game, like he can barely walk. Like
I know.
He's older than people think he is. I do think he has health problems. I think him being in the booth, kind of being there for support. And again, like, you know, we've talked about the coaching thing over and over with both of those guys. That team's in good hands. I don't think they're going to struggle. I think Bowles is going to be the head coach and run the defense, and Byron's going to keep running that offense, and I think Tampa Bay will be fine.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Let's get in. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, no, he's not going first because he's not here. So this is the one I was going to use last week, and I couldn't. Well, it's one of the ones I was going to use last week. Still on the fence about the other one. In case you haven't seen the video, David Ojabo, I'm not doing this because I'm a homer. I'm doing this to prove a point. David Ojabo was going to be a top 10, 12, 15 pick somewhere. A lot of people had him linked to the Eagles. He was doing his pro day up in Ann Arbor with all the other draft eligible guys. He was doing a simple drill and tore his Achilles. He was a little bit behind the play, so the Michigan staff didn't know what was going on right away. You watch the video, there's 8 or 9 scouts there that just sit there and stare at the kid laying on the ground in obvious pain. They don't walk over to him. They don't talk to him. They don't do anything. They literally just stare at the kid who in the course of 3 seconds went from being a lottery pick to who knows when he gets drafted. Is a year recovery in front of him now. Again, I'm using this to prove this point. If you wonder why the player stances are what they are in the league right now, this is a perfect example of why. Those guys, you could have easily just walked over, put your hand on the shoulder, be like, bro, like, don't get up. Like, just talk to him. Like, try to, like, relax the kid for 3 seconds whose future, like, just, flashed in front of his eyes. They treat these players like they're like poker chips. Like, they're strictly assets and nothing else. This is why you're seeing the crazy contracts that you're seeing. These guys want their money because they don't feel like they're appreciated. They don't feel like they're pieces of property. And this is why. These NFL teams do not, you can give me all the sob stories of certain guys here and there where they say like, oh, like this owner went like above and beyond. That's fine. There's instances where it happens. The average NFL player never goes through that. They are pieces of property that are traded. They're assets. They're whatever you want to call them. So for those scouts there that were there from Houston, Jacksonville, I think there was one. Pittsburgh was one. Like I can't remember the other 5. But for me this week, to not even just help a kid, and that's what he is. He's a kid. To not even walk up to him and try to comfort him until somebody could get to him, and just again continuing to cement into what we already know, that you guys don't really care about these players. So for this week, that's you gotta be kidding me.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Mine happened I think it happened last Wednesday night as we were getting off air. Jimmy Butler's played for a couple teams in the NBA. He had issues in Chicago. We didn't know who's the problem was the issue. Who was the issue there? He gets traded to Minnesota. He's playing for Minnesota. He's got issues with Karl Anthony Towns. He's got issues with the front office. He's playing with the third string players and beats the starters and yelling at the GM and the owner, you effing need me, and screams and forces his way out of Minnesota. He comes to Philadelphia. I loved him. I wanted Jimmy Butler here so bad. I wanted us to re-sign him. I wanted Jimmy Butler here long term. He didn't re-sign here. He had issues with the fact that Brett Brown and the front office was talking about, can you control him? And the closed door meetings they had with JJ Redick, TJ McConnell, and Jimmy Butler in Portland that are well noted. Jimmy Butler went to his spot. He went to a great organization in Miami. Can't argue. Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Udonis Haslam's been there for years. It's a great organization. They're the most well-run organization in basketball.
They really are.
He goes there, and they're going on a little bit of a losing streak. First real turbulence that they faced this year, and they've probably faced since he's been there. Like, they played decent basketball in 2019. They made it to the Bubble Championship. 2020, they had a little bit of a step back. There's a lot of injuries. This year, they got them, Kyle Lowry there, and, they have a bunch of players there, and they were the 1 seed all year. Well, Jimmy Butler is screaming at Eric Spoelstra, and you can hear Eric Spoelstra say, I'm not going to fight you. Because Jimmy Butler is aggressively attacking his 5'9" head coach that's 160 pounds to the point where Udonis Haslem had to stand up and be like, dude, I will beat your ass. I'm not the one. Argument breaks out. Kyle Lowry's really pissed off about the argument. Issues happen in Miami, Chicago, Minnesota, Philadelphia. And people still said it might not be Jimmy Butler. Miami's the 4th stop, and there's 4 stops with problems. So for that reason, Jimmy Butler.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
They did just go to Boston and beat the hottest team in the NBA, though.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
We needed that to happen.
True.
But with that being said, Miss Cottrell, I hope you're having a good night, man. I appreciate you checking on the wire line.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Love
Miss you, buddy. We'll see you next week. Any final thoughts, Bill?
No, I mean I'm excited for next week. The movie bracket's going to be crazy. I always love the baseball preview show. I love talking baseball. I'm way more optimistic on the Phillies than I normally am at this point in the year. And it's my favorite week of the year, man.
We got a lot to get into next week. We're going to have UFC. We're going to have a baseball preview.
And
the Masters.
The
tradition unlike any other.
Georgia?
With that being said, this is Wire to Wire, show 77, signing out.